Okay, we're ready for another honoree. So, to present our next Game Changer West honoree, please welcome culture and business writer, author, and Asia Society Northern California Advisory Council member, Sheila Melvin.
Great. Hi, everybody. I am honored to be introducing our Asia Society Game Changer honoree, Phyllis Kao, who is a vice president of Sotheby's New York and has been an auctioneer for over 15 years. Phyllis has orchestrated countless sales of global significance, and she's done it in English, Mandarin, and French with a preternatural poise, cheerful aplomb, and compelling charisma. We'll see a bit in a minute. Her high-powered performance caused her to rocket to global attention last year when she sold a 150 million-year-old stegosaurus named Apex for $44.6 million. The New York Times dubbed her the woman who sold the world's most expensive dinosaur. And words like mesmerizing, masterful, captivating, and commanding are regularly attached to her work. Phyllis makes her job look easy, but her presence at the podium and her knowledge and passion for precious cultural and historical objects are rooted in years of hard work. She studied violin as a child, and in her teenage years pursued the dream of becoming a soloist, practicing and performing many hours a week. When she realized that violin soloist wasn't actually the path for her, she had the courage to put down her instrument. She set a new goal, to become a well-rounded Renaissance person, and in pursuit of this, enrolled in Columbia University to study Chinese history, art history, French, ancient Greek and Hellenistic history, and also some math, I believe, which serves auctioneers well. From college, she went into the auction world right as the Chinese art market was taking off, and her fluent Mandarin proved an asset. She trained in Chinese traditional antiquities, especially Buddhist art. I've got the dress on. And she found she loved learning about humans through art and objects. After a brief period cataloging silver, she became an auctioneer and never looked back. She has truly made an art out of the auctioning of art and other objects. And in so doing, she has important and far-reaching impact. As a Taiwanese-American woman in a field historically dominated by white British men, she is a role model and a path breaker. But she has also changed, expanded, and diversified the game of auctions. Videos of her work are live streamed around the world and have been viewed many millions of times on social media platforms. She's sought after by journalists and podcasters for her insights on the art market and her advice on leadership. This extends her presence well beyond the traditional auction world and offers the opportunity to appreciate these precious artworks to legions of people who would never step inside an auction house. And this matters. Arts and culture have been a pillar of the Asia Society since its inception because our founder, John D. Rockefeller, understood their transformative power. The arts are not for the privileged few, but for the many, he said. Their place is not on the periphery of daily life, but at its center. They should function not merely as another form of entertainment, but rather should contribute significantly to our well-being and happiness. Art connects us and art calls us. It serves its purpose only when we answer that call, as Phyllis has. So in these increasingly trying and turbulent times, I suggest that we all look to the arts as our anchor, to the Asia Society as our bridge, and to game changers who are at the top of their game, like Phyllis Kao, as we chart a new way forward.
Thank you, Asia Society, for this honor. When I got over the initial shock, I was truly, truly humbled by the honor, by the thought that anyone could get inspiration from me, that I could change the game for someone else. Thank you to the Asian American community for supporting Asia Society and the important work they do. Thank you to my parents who are here tonight. If you've ever applauded me, you have in large part applauded them. Thank you for all of your never-ending, constant support. Thank you to my sister Janice, who's also here, who for me was the original game changer. As the first generation born here, how to apply for school, how to take the SATs, all of that. I had a pioneer who came before me. Thank you, Janice. Not here tonight, though. Thank you, Mohan, Asha, and Meera, Janice's beautiful family, for their bright support and inspiration. Thank you, Shindo. You are family to me, too. I love you. Thank you to the Taiwanese community for welcoming back an American-born amongst your ranks and for our family there. And congratulations to my fellow honorees, to Andrew Ng. Give me a few years and maybe I'll understand really what you do and what you've done. And thank you to Daniel Day Kim for existing. I love you, Shindo. As an auctioneer, it's a secret weapon of mine, I think, that I forget easily. I heal and I move on because as you're taking a sale, come hell or high water, you have to perform live. But it is nice to be reminded sometimes of some things. It is nice to be reminded that I belong to a clan, that I belong to a community, that there are people there that will always be there for me. And this award will always be a reminder of that. So thank you. We all need reminders. I think we all come into this world with the same hopes, made of the same stuff, blood, bones. But we forget our capacities, our endless potential. You forget your endless heart. You were all born, we were all born, with infinite worth. You've forgotten that. And in forgetting your own, you've forgotten the infinite worth of the person next to you, the person across from you on BART, on AC Transit, the strangers that come and go. You were all born more pure and more brilliant than the most coveted diamond, more free and more creative than the wildest Picasso painting. And believe me, I've seen it all. You all need to be reminded. Let art remind you. Let art remind you of all of your capacities, your abilities, your many layers. Support the arts. Support places that bring you the arts, gateways to culture, like Asia Society, like your local art institution. It is so important that you support them, you patronize them, don't let them wither. If they wither your own creativity, your reminders will wither. Ruth Asawa, who was one of our, yes. And if you haven't seen the fantastic retrospective of Ruth Asawa at SF MoMA, it is there now. Run. She was one of our great artists. Never mind her Japanese heritage, never mind she was a woman, one of the best artists of our time. And she said, art teaches discipline, craft, respect for tools and for sharing, and finally, self-respect. For me, art refines us, defines, crystallizes, reflects, and also expands what we are and what we mean in every sense of the word. So if anything, please remember from me to support the arts. It is so important. We are on this long journey together, and it is arduous, it is worthy, it is so hard. But we're on it, and it is a path that goes forever. If you support the arts, it will be much more illuminated and beautiful. Thank you.